Well, before we get started, friends, I want to thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video.
Well, where can you find the absolute best hot dog in the entire world? Well, we just spent 9 months traveling over 75,000 miles, visiting over 65 countries, and we were trying hot dogs all along the way. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give you our top 10 hot dogs from all around the world so that you can put these on your hot dog adventure list.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
And we've been living that full life trying hot dogs all the way around the world for the last 9 months.
Well, we sure have, friends, and today we're going to give you the top 10 hot dogs that we have found around the world. Now, take note. We're just going to cover international hot dogs in this video. We'll do another video or 2 or 3 of hot dogs in the United States. So watch for those upcoming. We're going to be taking our RV all around. And so we'll be testing hot dogs here and there throughout.
Yeah, actually, we've already done hot dogs in Dallas. We've done them in Chicago. We've actually done quite a few already. And we're also putting together some shorts that'll lead up to that long form video. So watch for that as well.
Well, we want to clarify just a bit of what is a hot dog. What do we consider a hot dog? Because in some other countries, a hot dog may be a little bit different than what we're used to here in the United States.
Yeah, it's surprisingly or not, this can be controversial. Some people are absolute purists. You know, it is a Wiener dog, you know, and on a very specific bun, and that's what a hot dog is. But we really did broaden our horizons that if the people in that country considered it a hot dog, or in our research when we were looking at where to go to try these, it was called a hot dog. We opened our aperture way up and we gave a lot of latitude to include some really good hot dogs here. So in general, if it's a somewhat tubular sausage and it's on a somewhat rectangular bun, then we called it a hot dog and included it.
Well, the hot dog challenge and doing this was a lot of fun. As we went around the world, we would post on Instagram and Facebook pictures of you eating the hot dogs, and that was really cool. But for that, we had to have an internet connection, and that's what leads us to today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN.
With Surfshark VPN, you can really protect your connections and communications to the internet. So as an example, whether we're in Greenland, Denmark, Argentina, giving you some previews of places you're going to hear about in a minute, wherever you're at in the world, if you're connecting to Wi-Fi, you want to make sure that all your devices are safe. And to keep your devices safe, you want to make sure that you have a VPN or virtual private network installed. Now with Surfshark VPN, you get free connection to all your devices with your subscription, so you can have those many devices that you're connecting to. So be it your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever it is. And when you connect to all those different Wi-Fis around the world, like a Wi-Fi at a hot dog shop, you can feel safe that your communication back to those servers, back to where you're posting to, is completely safe and secure. In addition to that, if you want to watch a movie about a hot dog, you can actually virtually relocate your devices anywhere in the world back to your home country so that you can use all of those streaming services that you like Netflix and all the others, wherever you're at in the world. And right now, if you go to surfshark.com/livingphase or enter the coupon code livingphase at checkout, you're going to get an extra 4 months of Surfshark VPN protection included for free. So while you're traveling around the world, be it international or in the United States or wherever you may live, give Surfshark VPN a try to keep your communications absolutely safe.
Well, Mike, you had some specific criteria that you used when you were ranking these hot dogs. Why don't you discuss that just a bit?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, the sausage, the meat, the wiener, the wiener, the whatever you want to say, I think that has to be foremost. If you have a bad piece of meat in your hot dog, it's not going to be enjoyable at all. I think the meat has to have for my criteria, I like a good natural casing. It has to be crispy or have a pop when you eat it. The meat itself has to have good texture. It can't be mushy, just all mush. It has to, really chew well. And I think finally, the last one is, of course, just taste. Sometimes you can have a good textured hot dog, but it's bland, right? You want something that has a really good flavor to it, either how the meat's prepared, how it's boiled, how or it's grilled or whatever it is. So I think that's the first criteria.
Well, and I think the fact that you and I are competition barbecue judges, we go around the country judging barbecue, and so we use maybe some of that criteria as far as looking for that taste and that texture and that quality. One thing that I thought was unique here as we're going around the world is the location, because I do think there were times when the location was so fantastic or less than desirable, and maybe that kind of influenced our thoughts and feelings towards that specific hot dog.
I would absolutely agree. Where you eat the dog, I think, is a good part of how much you enjoyed the dog.
And what's the final criteria for ranking the hot dog?
Well, overall, it's how it's prepared. Now, sometimes simple is the best, and I think as we get to our number one dog and even the number two, you're going to see that they're relatively simple dogs, just really, really good in iconic locations. However, we would always tell the vendor, make it however you make it. Make it, how most people order it. And so it might have crispy onions. It might just have a sauce on it. It might be plain, it's made all kinds of different ways. But certainly the preparation of the dog, and especially if it's got kind of an unusual preparation, which you might see in our very first one that's coming up here, number 10, that can really influence how much you enjoy a hot dog. But I think we've told everyone enough. Let's actually get to the top 10 hot dogs in the world.
Well, coming in at number 10 was the French-style hot dog in Quaqtok, Greenland.
You can actually get what's called a French-style hot dog many, many places in the world. I've actually had them in Moscow. I've had them in the Czech Republic. And the latest one, while we were doing this trip around the world, we actually had in Greenland, in Quaqtok, Greenland, which is a Danish territory. So it's, kind of having a Danish dog too, which, spoiler alert, you may see in a minute. But the French style hot dog is very simple. They take a baguette, or why it's called French style, a small baguette. They poke a hole all the way down it. They fill it with sauce, and then they stick usually a boiled or steamed hot dog down inside of it. So relatively plain, simple to eat. I've had them with ketchup, mustard, other sauces and things. This one had a special thing called hot dog sauce. And it was good. As you see us trying it here, very simple. It ended up at number 10 because it wasn't super special, but it was really good. And when you're traveling through Europe especially, you'll see these all over the place, and they even have special warmers that they put the bun on, and then they cook the hot dog and then they put them together. So be sure to give the French style dog a try if you see it on your travels.
Now, I tried all of these hot dogs. This has really been your specific challenge all around the world, but I would taste each and every one. The only thing about this one that I didn't care for so much is outside the bun, sticking out of the bun was a fair amount of hot dog, and that usually didn't get any sauce or any toppings on it. And so that made that if you had the first couple of bites, then it was rather plain. Well, coming in now at number 9 is the Completo, the Italian style hot dog from Chile.
Yes. So the Chilean people love their hot dogs, and so they eat them multiple different ways, but the most famous way they eat them is Italian style. And what that means is the hot dog is a fairly average wiener. I'll say it wasn't necessarily bad, the meat side of it, but man, did they top it. So they put it in a steamed bun, and then to make the Italian style, they make the Italian flag. So they put mashed avocado, ketchup, and mayonnaise, and that makes for the green, red, and white of the Italian flag. So the toppings are really good, and if you get this all together, it can really be an excellent taste combination. I did enjoy this hot dog a lot, and I think the way I will say it is this hot dog has a lot of potential. Now, it happens to be the place that I tried it, though. It was kind of a little ice cream stand where we ended up finding our first Completo here in Chile, and I would say that one was just somewhat average. It reaches number 9 on our top 10 list because, again, I think this is a great basis of a hot dog. I think it's got great potential, as I said, but the execution of the one we had was just fair. But be sure if you're in Chile, and they do have these in Argentina and other places, the completo, make sure you get one Italian style because it overall, it sounds like I didn't like it. I loved it. I think you liked it.
I actually really enjoyed this hot dog. I mean, avocado, mayonnaise, ketchup. What is there not to like about these toppings that are on it? No, I actually thought it was very good.
Yeah, it's very unique and it's very local to this area. So be sure to try a completo Italian style.
And now at number 8, we've got the shrimp toast dog from Stockholm, Sweden.
That's right, you heard it, shrimp on a hot dog. Well, let's explain just a little bit. So shrimp toast, you've probably heard of that dish. In fact, it's an extremely famous gourmet dish, relatively simple, but famous gourmet dish at many Michelin-rated restaurants. The actual shrimp toast was invented here in Sweden, and it's a fairly simple thing. It's shrimp with kind of a cream sauce and dill, and it's on nice little toast points. And we had the actual shrimp toast, which was great. And then we got surprised when we stopped at a little cafe and they had the shrimp toast hot dog. And so they took that creamy shrimp and dill and all that, and they put it on top of a really well done hot dog and a very good bun and put all those flavors together and try them. Now, I will say I'm not the biggest seafood fan, but I thought the flavors worked pretty good for me. The bun was excellent, and it was so unusual that that's why it had to come up to the number 8 spot. But I think you enjoyed it probably more than I did.
I did. I think I ate more of that hot dog than you did because I love seafood. I love seafood of all kinds, and so I just thought, well, this was one great hot dog to add shrimp to a hot dog. I mean, again, you can't go wrong here. No, I thought it was delicious.
Yeah, and the location was just iconic. You're in Stockholm, Sweden, sitting by the water, and having a shrimp hot dog. I mean, it was really wonderful. Again, leading it to the number 8 spot.
And now coming in at the number 7 spot is the Argentinian Uruguayan Ponchos.
Yeah, so I think the Ponchos was originally specifically Uruguayan. We actually tried a Ponchos in Argentina. They have them there as well, all along that east coast of South America. And this was really good. I happened to get this particular one at a small convenience store in Ushuaia, Argentina. That's the city at the bottom of the world. And it didn't disappoint at all. It was a nearly foot-long hot dog with great toppings. The wiener itself was, I would say, again, not exceptional, but it certainly was sufficient. It was a good chewing hot dog. It tasted well. But man, the French fried potatoes they put on top and all the special sauces and everything. I mean, this was way better than any convenience store hot dog you would normally think of. This was a really, really good dog. The flavor combinations and especially those French fried potatoes on the top really set this one apart.
It did. Once again, I thought this was really good. Maybe there's a theme here. It's all the toppings that I really like that make it a good hot dog for me. But no, and in this convenience store, everyone was buying hot dogs. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny that people would go into just a little convenience store and hot dogs were the big seller here. And for me, it didn't disappoint. I thought it was good.
Yeah, in fact, at this convenience store, we had to wait just a little bit because the person in front of us bought like 6 of them or something, and they had to cook hot dogs. And but we wanted our ponchos. We wanted to try one before we left Argentina, and so we waited. They cooked them and made it absolutely fresh, and it was really, really good. So when you're down on the East Coast, when you're Argentina, Uruguay, try a Ponchos hot dog, and make sure you get the French fried potatoes. They're really good.
Now at number 6, we've got the black pork dog from Kagoshima, Japan.
Yeah, now this is a hot dog that lets the meat speak for itself. So if you're not familiar with black pork, the meat isn't actually black. The pig itself has a black skin, so that's why they call it black pork. And it is a heritage breed of pork that many different Asian countries raise. They actually really almost became extinct, and they've brought them back. And good thing they did, because the meat is just excellent. You can get different black pork dishes. Like we actually had a black pork roll where we had the different pork meat. But this one, they made a hot dog out of it. We bought it at a small hot dog stand just outside the cruise port in Kagoshima, Japan. And for those of you who don't know, Kagoshima is the home of Wagyu beef. So they know how to prepare, how to take care of meat here. And this was so good because the dog itself was a simple hot dog in a nice bun with just a little bit of mustard sauce on it. But the meat itself was so good that that's what drove it up to the number 6 spot on our list. It was really good.
It was good. I would have preferred to have had a little bit of ketchup and some onions on it.
Please don't hate her. She's a ketchup lover on hot dogs.
Ketchup, mustard, and onion. That's how I always have my hot dog. But it was a good dog. I just thought it needed more toppings.
Yeah. And for me, I liked how they just let the meat speak for itself. So, no, great hot dog. And if you're in Japan, especially Kagoshima, try the black pork hot dog. It's excellent.
Well, once again, we're back to Qaqortoq, Greenland for another hot dog coming in the number 5 spot, the Danish Pulser.
Yes, so now this one is a much more traditional Danish hot dog. And again, like we said, Greenland is a territory of Denmark. So when we were in Denmark, we missed getting a Pulser. Now, years ago when we traveled there, we had one, but I wanted to make sure it was refreshed, and we've had one recently. But then we were in Qaqortoq, we found a small store, and it happens to be the same store. We tried the French-style hot dog, the number 10 dog. He made 2 of these, one French-style, one Danish-style, and the Danish-style was absolutely excellent. The Danes know their hot dogs. This had crispy onions, sliced pickles, what they call hot dog sauce, and a mustard sauce.
So you know I liked it.
Yeah, exactly. So this one had a really good hot dog, had a nice crisp pop to it. The meat was good. The bun was steamed just right. Everything about this dog was really, really good. So whether you're in Denmark or whether you're in Greenland, be sure to try the Danish Pulser.
I would agree. Well, the funny thing here too is Qaqortoq, Greenland likes their hot dogs so much. We even saw their hot dog sauce in bulk at a store there.
Yeah, so Qaqortoq is very small, and they have a couple supply stores, and yeah, they had rows and rows of this stuff, so it must be pretty popular. The other thing I would like to mention about location, the store that we got the hot dogs in, he had the little hot dog preparation stuff behind the counter there. This super eclectic store. So you can take a look at a little bit of video while we're talking, but he had everything, just kitchen. It was like a grandma's garage sale in there. So again, location, it was just fun to have a hot dog there in that environment. So, really seek out these small little places, convenience stores, things like that. You're gonna get some great dogs there.
And the number 4 hot dog comes to us from Reykjavik, Iceland, the Icelandic Pulser.
Yes, this one is absolutely iconic. So if you go to Reykjavik, wonderful city to tour. Iceland is amazing, and we've made videos showing our tours there. Be sure to go take a look at those. And if you go to Iceland, you have to stop by, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, but Pulser. And if you just ask somebody for the famous red hot dog stand, they will absolutely know. If you search best hot dog in Reykjavik, they'll absolutely know where you're going. They've actually opened a couple locations now. They have one at the airport. They've got the famous one that we went to, the original, and they've got, I think, 1 or 2 others. And a couple reasons why hot dogs are so famous in Iceland. And actually, you're going to see a lot of the Scandinavian countries have hot dogs. So one of the things that makes hot dogs so popular is they're inexpensive and affordable. They're the cheapest thing you can eat in the Scandinavian countries or in Iceland. So you can go get a very affordable hot dog and you can have a nice meal for not as much money as you can get in other places. Well, let's talk about this dog a little bit. The hot dog itself was perfect, great pop, well cooked. Everything about the meat was good, the bun was good, but the sauce was really excellent. In fact, we had friends that traveled with us that they've been to Iceland on some different cruises before, and every time they're there, they go to this hot dog stand and they bring several bottles of this sauce back home to use it at home. So don't miss getting it with the sauce. Don't have it like Bill Clinton. They have the actual Clinton dog.
Yes, they do. Yeah. He makes this just with mustard, am I right?
Yeah, he said he was on a diet when he visited this as president, and he said, oh, just give me mustard. He didn't get the the hot dog slice. He didn't know what he's missing.
That's right.
So, yeah, so get it, again, we always say get it the way they recommend having it. And that's what we told everyone. Well, how does most people get it? Make it that way. And man, do they make them fast. They fly those hot dogs out of there. And there is always a line at this place. But don't worry, because it does move quickly, and just have your order ready, get up to the counter, and you will not be disappointed here in Reykjavik, Iceland.
Now, friends, we're down to the top 3, and in the number 3 spot is from Oslo, Norway, the Siver Skiioskin.
Yep.
Siver Skiioskin hot dog.
Oh, this place was awesome. So I'd heard about this place before, and once again, like many of the Scandinavian countries, hot dogs are all the rage, right? So be it Denmark, Oslo, Sweden, any of Norway, and of course we're in Norway now. Now, Siver Skiioskin is a traditional Oslo or Norwegian wooden hot dog stand. There used to be dozens and dozens of these all over the city of Oslo. This is one of the very last one that's remaining, and the reason it's still there is it is incredible. You will not be disappointed on the dogs you're going to get here. So now what we did is we actually got 2 different dogs. One is made with the traditional lampe. I think I'm saying that right, but it's effectively a flatbread. I mean, you might call it a tortilla, but it's really a very traditional Norwegian flatbread. They put the hot dog sauce and a pickle relish in it. And then they also make them with a more traditional hot dog bun. So with that, they have this really spicy sauce and spicy pickle relish they put on it. And it was spicy. I mean, it was, and I like spicy, so it was really good. Now we tried both of these hot dogs. So you're getting a 2-for-1 here in your number 3 spot. I think I preferred the one on the lampe bread. It just, it was kind of different, right? It was something that was in, and it was very minimal, and it let the hot dog shine. And that hot dog really can shine because they do something really special here. When they cook the dogs, they actually cook them in a very rich broth, not water. They actually use like a special secret recipe broth, and they've been doing that for decades. So that gives this hot dog the best flavor, a crispy pop from the natural casing, and that hot dog sticks out the end of each of the buns that it's served in. I just absolutely loved it.
And I thought it was a really good hot dog as well, very good hot dog. I did like the one in the more traditional bun rather than the lampe, the tortilla that you had. It had pickled onions on it, and I thought that was so good to have that on my hot dog.
Yeah, and additionally, we went here and we brought some friends along with us, and I think they enjoyed it.
I think they had a good time as well. Now, coming in at number 2, we're going to Busan, South Korea, the Korean corn dog, and truth be told, this would have been in my the number 1 for me, but you ranked them,
well,
so it's number 2 for you.
Honestly, I went back and forth on this, and you'll see when we get to the number 1, I'll let you know why I ranked that there. I absolutely loved this Korean. This is the first time we had a true Korean corn dog in Korea, and oh my gosh, I never expected how good it was.
It was yummy. It really was.
In fact, it was almost an accident I had it. We were touring a temple in Busan, South Korea, and we were going back to our bus that we had to get on after our tour. It was pouring rain the whole day, and I think you went to the restroom, and I'm standing there and I look outside of the temple. They had a series of shops, and they had a Korean corn dog shop, and I'm like, oh, I've never tried a Korean corn dog. And I went up and they handmade it, they rolled it, they did everything to it. Then they're like, oh, do you want sugar on it? I'm like, sugar?
Sugar on a hot dog?
Okay, we always take it the way you suggest. And I took a little mustard on the side with it. We actually went back to the bus, because again, it's pouring rain, met on the bus, and that's where we tried the Korean corn dog. And it's like angels singing,
It really was a good hot dog.
Yeah. Now, what makes a great Korean corn dog? The breading is not really just cornmeal like a normal corn dog you'd get in the U.S. It has panko breadcrumbs, it has potato flour, it has all kinds of different variations in the flour that make it really crispy and just really tasty. And in addition, with the Korean corn dog, you can also get it with a cheese stick instead of a hot dog if you want. And you can get it even half and half, where it's half hot dog, half cheese. And the one here in Busan that we had great flavor in the hot dog. The breading was just incredible. And it went so well, all the flavors blended together, that we just fell in love with the Korean corn dog. the reason it didn't make the number one spot for me is we've been trying various Korean corn dogs around the world. We tried them in fact, in Sweden. We tried them in Canada, in Halifax. We tried them in several different places. They never lived up to the one we had in Busan. Usually the problem with them is they were too bready. The breading was too thick. This one in Busan was thin and crispy, and it was just done perfectly. And I think, unfortunately for the Korean corn dog, its neighbors around the world probably, for me, knocked it down a little bit from the number one spot. But I think you loved it. Yeah,
I love that hot dog. Yeah. Well, now we're getting to the number one spot. But before we do, there's a couple of things. First, I want to let you know we do have a hot dog in the honorable mention category. So there's one more that I want you to stick around for. And friends, also at this point, if you like this video, please reach down and hit that like button. For those of you that are new, that may not have met us before, if you could click that subscribe button, that would be great. We truly appreciate it. We're trying to reach a goal here, and it just helps YouTube to push these videos out to others who may not know us yet. And so thank you. We truly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've enjoyed our hot dog content, we hope you'll like the rest of our content as we travel around the world, cruising, riding in our RV, and just living the best empty nest life we can. So I thank you very much for taking one moment and hitting that subscribe button. Well, should we get to the number one?
The number one comes from Argentina, the Argentinian Choron.
Yeah, this one, it went back and forth and back and forth. If you remember, we already did have one hot dog from Argentina, but this one, it was so simple, but just so delicious. We had this hot dog in Ushuaia, Argentina, which is the bottom of the world. This is the last city, the southernmost city in the world. You're a stone's throw from Antarctica. It's absolutely gorgeous here with the Beagle Channel and everything, the mountains around you. And we had this at a small hot dog stand that specializes in just chorpans, and we sought for it. We looked for it. We found it because we wanted to try one of these famous Argentinian hot dogs, and it was just amazing. I mean, you even walk up to the vendor, and their dog is laying right there. And you had to step over him to get to the vendor, and that German Shepherd was not going to move.
No, he wasn't. That was a good hot dog.
It really was. And it was so simple. They had a few condiments out front, but really what this was a very, very flavorful grilled sausage in fresh baked bread that was folded up over the sausage and just left simple. And that's how we had it. And when the dog can stand on its own and the bread can stand on its own and you put it all together, that makes for a really enjoyable hot dog experience. And this one was amazing.
And it was in one of the most beautiful locations all around the world.
Yeah, so I would say if you are in Argentina or anywhere in this area, especially in Ushuaia, be sure to look up and get yourself a chorpan and get that sausage, that hot dog. It was absolutely amazing, and that's why it led to our number one spot. Well, should we get to the honorable mention?
We have one more. The final honorable mention one takes us to Helsinki, Finland, and we have the Finland Reindeer dog.
Right, so this one didn't make the top 10. I think it had potential to make the top 10. The only problem is the execution of this particular hot dog was just, I don't want to say not good, but it was very average. I've actually had reindeer hot dogs before in Alaska and different places, but we were ranking as we've been traveling here recently, and this one in Finland, honestly, didn't taste any different than just a normal hot dog. It had some nice grilled onions on it. The presentation was good. I mean, honestly, Finland is gorgeous. I mean, we're right there on the seashore, so the place is good. But the hot dog was very, very average. It was a little bit mushy. It didn't have a nice pop to it. So in fact, we tried it and went, really, is this even reindeer meat?
You questioned it.
Did they just run out and they just had, but there were multiple vendors at this festival we were at selling reindeer hot dogs. I just happened to randomly pick one. Maybe I just didn't pick the best one. Here's what I'd recommend. if you're going to take an adventure, as an example, to Alaska, and since we didn't include the United States hot dogs, we couldn't include it in this one, but Alaska, in many of the ports, you can get some great hot dogs made from, let's say, other creatures other than just pork or beef. And we've had reindeer hot dogs up there, and they were far superior to this one. But be on the lookout for those hot dogs that are a little different, give you something different and new.
Well, friends, we hope you have enjoyed this hot dog challenge. The hot dog tasting is going to continue throughout the United States. If you have been somewhere and have tried a great hot dog, be it in the United States or internationally, be sure to leave us a comment and let us know where that hot dog was and why you enjoyed it so much. We would love to hear about it.
Yeah, and if you've tried any of these that we've mentioned, what's your thoughts on it? Did we get the number one right, according to you? What is your number one hot dog? We'd love to hear from you. Well, I have to say, this has been a lot of fun. As we were traveling around the world and just, it was almost random, this list of the top hot dogs in the world came up on my computer. And so I kind of stored it aside and I thought, well, we're traveling around the world for 9 months. I'm going to try to have some of these. And this really turned into something of a life of its own. And we want to thank everyone out there who kept saying, where's the hot dogs? Where are the hot dogs? And we had a great time trying them. And it really brought new experiences to us as well. And we certainly hope that, seeing these have inspired you to maybe get out, try some different hot dogs, or just try travel, get out and see new things. And we are certainly going to continue the hot dog challenge as we move forward, as Nancy mentioned earlier, in our RV. We've already got a lot that we've tried, and we're going to continue to try some more as we're traveling internationally as well.
That's right. So you're not going to want to miss it. Well, once again, friends, we want to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring today's video. As a reminder, go to surfshark.com/livingphase or enter Living Phase at the checkout code for an additional 4 months of Surfshark VPN protection.
Well, thanks a lot, everyone, and we'll see you at our next hot dog stand.
Have a beautiful day. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.